We see different creatures every day, whether in our home or our way to work or outside. But did you know that there are many creatures we see every day that are actually dangerous? If you want to know more about these creatures, keep watching this video to find out. Before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything we post. Let's begin this video with a common, everyday creature, deer. Deer are especially common in parts of Europe and North America, and are actually known as the most dangerous mammal in America. Deers kill approximately 120 people a year in the United States, mostly due to vehicle collisions because the deer is so heavy, so there's a huge chance the collision will kill the passengers in the vehicle. This especially happens at night, as the driver will usually not be able to see the deer until it's too late. So the next time you're going out for a late night drive, make sure to go slowly and watch out. Now, let's move on to number 2, swans. This one might surprise you because they look so peaceful from a distance, but up close, swans are actually really vicious. However, they usually won't harm you unless you approach them or they feel like they're in danger. In most cases, swans will get aggressive if someone tries to approach the nest, and will usually slap their wings and bite. Their necks are also strong enough to break a human arm, so be careful how close you get. The third creature is a pretty obvious one. Bears. Like swans, bears don't tend to attack unless they feel in danger, but can cause a lot of damage because they're so much bigger than the average human. Bears were listed as the third most dangerous mammal in the US, and are especially mentioned to campers and hikers before they go on trips. The best way to avoid a bear is to stick to your hiking paths and dispose of any food not to attract them. Let's move on to number 4, man's best friend, the dog. Not to scare you, but rabid dogs infect 25,000 people each year, mostly in India, where 2,000 people die from rabies annually. Rabid dogs can be super infectious and dangerous, so just make sure your furry pet gets their shots on time and you should be fine. Now for number 5, the black widow spider. This spider can be found in houses, specifically in North America and Australia, and likes to hide in mailboxes, corners, or in the grass. The black widow can be identified by its shiny black body and red markings, and their bites can be very dangerous to humans if not treated in time. Black widow bites usually result in intense pain, nausea, and muscle stiffness. The best thing to do if you get bitten is to head straight to the emergency room. We've got another spider for number 6, the brown recluse. This is another common house spider, distinct for their violin-shaped marking on their back if you can get close enough to look. They also only have 6 legs instead of 8. Like the black widow, they also like to hang out in undisturbed corners of homes, such as closets and corners. Their bites can cause serious damage to humans, usually necrotizing the wounds, meaning that the tissue and cells around the wound die. If you think you've been bitten by one, make sure to see a doctor immediately. Next up, number 7, owls. Owls aren't necessarily the most dangerous animals you can come across, but if you approach an area near their nest, they can attack and cause some harm to you. In 2012, many people in Seattle reported being attacked by a great horned owl that attacked from the trees. These were mostly runners and hikers, and the owl was thought to be protecting its nest by trying to keep people away. So just be careful where you run, unless you want some serious damage to your scalp. Number 8 is quite surprising, pigeons. Okay, so a pigeon isn't necessarily going to attack you out of the blue or anything, but they are carriers of disease and can cause severe harm to humans if anyone catches the diseases. Pigeon droppings can most commonly contain E. coli and salmonella, which can be especially harmful to young children. Pigeons also carry mites and fleas, which can attach to your pets. My advice would be to avoid close contact with pigeon and pigeon droppings, just to be safe. Let's move on to number 9, another bird, quails. This is mainly just for people who eat them. Although some species of quail are commonly eaten around the world, some species of quail can be really harmful to humans when eaten. Symptoms can include muscle soreness, hallucinations, vertigo, and spasms, and in worst cases, even kidney failure. This won't be as much of an issue if you're thinking of buying quail at the supermarket, however, because they make sure to sell quail that is safe for consumption. Just don't try to get it on your own. Now we'll talk about a pretty obvious one, number 10, rats. Rats are a common house issue, but can also be really dangerous when you come into close contact with them. A rat bite can be really painful and also get infected. Rats are also known to carry carry a lot of diseases and helped in the spread of deadly infections such as the bubonic plague, typhus, and leptospirosis. These are definitely not creatures you want to try and touch if you get near them. The next one is a creature that can be found in some households around the world, especially in warmer climates, the scorpion. Scorpions mainly live in desert climates, so it's unlikely you'll see them in a lot of Europe, but they are present in North and South America and parts of Asia. The main reason they are so dangerous is they can cause severe sickness after stinging you. You could experience vomiting, numbness, hypothermia, and severe pain. In extreme cases, death can also be an outcome, but if you do get stung and get proper medical treatment, chances are you'll be alright. They're just not the funnest house guests. If you like going into the woods, you might not want to hear this one. Number 11. Tree frogs. Tree frogs are considered poisonous, but luckily not deadly, due to the substance that they secrete over their skin, which they use to protect themselves against prey. However, they will only cause irritation because they are carriers of the Salmonella bacteria. This is more harmful to children under the age of 5, but will likely not be fatal to the average adult. Now for a really common one that you've probably been in close contact with many times. Number 12. Mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are super common, especially in a more humid climate. They are so annoying. When they bite, they leave the most annoying itch for a few days. But did you know that mosquitoes are actually labeled the deadliest insect in the world? This is because mosquitoes are massive transmitters of infection, such as yellow fever, malaria, and Zika virus. They're not just dangerous to humans, however, as they also bite some mammals and reptiles. Unfortunately, no one is safe from the mosquito bite. Those tiny creatures are responsible for killing 2.7 million people each year. Yikes. Here's another one that'll scare all you outdoorsy people. A common snake indigenous to the UK, the adder. This is one of the 4 common snakes in the UK, but the adder is the only poisonous one. It usually lives in the woods or in grass and tends to bite its victims when they get too close. If people are walking in the grass, a snake can be quite difficult to see. Although the bite may hurt, there's little chance that it would be fatal and will only cause dizziness, fever, and nausea. Going to the doctor and getting treatment will lead you feeling back to good health in no time. Let's talk about another dangerous but really common animal. Number 14. Bees. Regular honeybees are considered harmless and usually won't do more damage than a sting. However, African killer bees are a lot more dangerous and have caused a lot of damage in recent years. These bees can follow the victim for up to 1 mile, and if there's a swarm of them, you'll be sure to get thousands of stings. And they tend to aim for the eyes and face. The toxin that comes from their stings is generally not dangerous, but these bees can cause death because of the force of their action. Watch out. Now that we've talked about so many poisonous creatures on land, let's move to the sea. First one up, the jellyfish. Common jellyfish are not technically deadly, but their stings can be really painful and so annoying when you're just trying to have a fun day out at the beach. The worst type of jellyfish, however, is the Portuguese man-of-war, which is not actually classified as a jellyfish, but a floating colony of hydrozoans. This creature is identified by its beautiful blue color, but should absolutely not be touched, as its sting has been responsible for many deaths. It may be beautiful, but definitely not a creature you want to come in close contact with. Next up isn't really the most common creature that people see every day, but definitely should be included, especially for you divers out there: the great white shark. The great white shark has the deadliest jaws on Earth, with a strength 14 times greater than that of an average man. However, since 1907, there have only been 207 fatalities from great white sharks, so just keep a safe distance in the water and you should be fine. Number 17 is the stonefish. The reason these fish are so dangerous is because they can be really difficult to see in the water, hence the name stonefish. But you do not want to step on one. They have 13 spines on their bodies that are enough to kill tissue and even put a human in shock. People have reported the stings to be excruciatingly painful, but as of now, no deaths have actually been reported. I still wouldn't risk it. That concludes the list of dangerous creatures that you see every day. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you guys in the next video.